I used to get told that an hour of my time was worth $8. I was working at a coffee shop making less than the actual coffee that I was selling. And now I'm 24 years old and I'm a self-made millionaire. And it's all because I fixed my relationship with money. So there are actually 6 steps that I took that you can steal in order to fix your relationship with money and operate out of abundance. And really quickly, I know that you clicked on this video because you obviously want money. That is something you are chasing. The mere fact that you clicked on this video to get this knowledge. But I want you to know before we dive in, you need to uncenter money from the reason that you want to work. Money needs to be a byproduct. Every single successful person, they are not fulfilled and they are not motivated by a dollar sign. They're motivated by their purpose. They're motivated by work. They're motivated by winning the game, shitting on the competition, and the money is just a byproduct. So I guess step number 1 would be to know that the money itself is a byproduct. It's not the reason that you work hard. It's just a mere matter of fact that happens as soon as you do become successful. So the next point is you need to fix your relationship with the ability to earn money. See, when I was working at that coffee shop, my hometown was Gilbert, Arizona. It's not a very flashy hometown at all. In fact, like when I would see nice cars, like Porsches driving along the road, I always thought like, oh, that's not for me, that's for rich people. That's for people that are like billionaires. I literally thought that it was so far away from me. But what happened was when I was in college, I started getting a ton of exposure therapy because we would go out to the clubs, me and my friends, and we would go to these tables of guys that were spending tens of thousands of dollars in one night, blowing all of this money on bottles. And I remember thinking to myself, like, how do they have the ability to be blowing all of this money at the club on a random Tuesday night? Like, that made no sense. So I would ask them like, oh, what do you do for work? And they would tell me, oh, I run this company, I run that company, I started this software that got sold off to this person. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, you did that? You're an idiot. You are like, I did not look up to you at all, but you've achieved such crazy things and you make so much money. And in that moment, I realized that if they can do it, I can. So I want you guys to know, even throughout the rest of my journey, like as I've grown into my own wealth and become friends with other people who make a lot of money, there is nothing crazy special, crazy super far away from the people that do attract money. The only difference is it's normal to them. It's normal to them to make money. It would be so not normal for them to not make money. They've literally programmed their brain to be in a state of where they're operating from the fact is like, it's a given. Like whatever I do is gonna make money. And so I want you to know that like, it's not that far away. The only different thing is your mindset of how you feel like you deserve it. And if you've ever struggled with the fact of like, I don't deserve money, or these people feel so far away from me, I want you to be so cognizant of demonizing wealth. A lot of people think, oh, rich people are bad people. Oh, rich people did something bad in order to get there. Or they only have money because of this, this, or that. You try to invalidate somebody else's wealth and you try to create negative energy around wealth. Let me ask you, what is wealth gonna do to you if you are always putting negative energy towards it? So when I was at that club looking at these guys, I wasn't like, oh, that's so unfair that they make all this money and I've worked my ass off my whole life. My mom, my dad, my grandma, like we work our asses off in a true way and we don't make anywhere near money towards that. No, that would be a negative energy thought towards wealth. What I did was I in fact flipped it and I go, how motivating that somebody who I don't necessarily look up to makes so much money, because what are the possibilities open for me that I can do that? But even bigger. Like if they can do it, I can do that times 10. So whatever your energy towards money is going to be reciprocated back to you. Like wealth is a mirror. It mirrors your inner thoughts. So you need to make sure that your inner thoughts with the ability to make money are positive and that it's coming from a place of gratitude. Something else that really helped me too with exposure therapy to wealth is I would put myself in situations to experience it. That way I was programmed to be almost numb to money. So for example, me and my girlfriends in college, we loved manifesting money. So what we would do is we would literally put on like the nicest little gowns and we would go tour open houses in $1 million areas in Scottsdale, Arizona. They definitely looked at us and knew what we were doing, but nevertheless, we just wanted to put ourselves in situations to where it was like, oh, like this is what's possible. And you get so inspired by that. So maybe on a smaller scale, like go to an open house of a really nice house, go to a car dealership and test drive a Ferrari, go buy a first class flight, even though maybe you can't afford it all right now to fly first class every single time, but just try it once. Because I guarantee you, once you sit first class, as superficial as it sounds, you'll never want to sit in the back of the plane. And so what happens though, is you figure out a way to keep yourself in first class. You figure out a way to get in that multi-million-dollar home. You figure out a way to get into that Ferrari because you got a taste of it. And if you don't come from money, that's the best thing you can do is you need to get a taste of it to know kind of what you're missing out on. And that makes working for it even more deep and even more motivating because you know what's on the other side. Okay, number 3, gratitude is the highest vibrational energy that you need to be operating from in order to attract money. If you were to give somebody a present and they look at the present and they're like, oh, thanks, well, I kind of really wanted this other thing, or yeah, like that's cool, thank you. You probably wouldn't give that person more presents. It's not very motivating to give somebody something when they're not grateful for it. Versus if you were to give somebody a present and they go, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Like it's so thoughtful. I can tell a lot of thought went into this. I'm so grateful for you, for the present and everything. You would be more motivated to give that person more presents over time because of the energy that was reciprocated back to you. Money is the same way. Money loves gratitude. So you need to be filled, like your aura right over here needs to be filled with positivity and gratitude. And so the biggest thing that I like to think about, at least, is you can choose whether you look at a situation and pull a negative story from it or if you pull a positive story from it. So everybody tells me my most expensive thing that I own is my mindset, and it's true. I have an amazing mindset, but this is how I do it. So it has to do with stories and data points. So anything that happens in your life, that happened. You can choose what story you create out of something that happened to you based off of the data points that you choose to pick up. For example, when I started my career, I was doing door-to-door sales, getting doors slammed in my face in 120-degree heat, dripping sweat onto my iPad, selling pest control. Like, it is not glamorous, but every single time somebody slammed the door in my face, I could have looked at the data points of they don't want what I'm selling, I'm bothering people, I'm selling something that nobody really cares about, it's hot outside, this is miserable, and then my story is negative because my story is this isn't worth it, I should go home, this isn't worth the money. What would have happened is I would not be here if I chose that negative story. I chose to focus on the positive story. By pulling the positive data points, which are this person slammed the door, thank goodness, because I don't have to waste my time and energy with this person, and I can give my time and energy to somebody that will listen to me. Thank God it's 120 degrees outside because it's beautiful and it's sunny, it's not raining, and then when it rains, my iPad would break. So whatever is happening to you in the moment, it doesn't have to be so crazy as like door-to-door sales, getting the door slammed in your face. Every single thing has a silver lining. It's kind of like thinking of the glass half full or half empty. It's the same concept, but you just need to be cognizant of choosing the thoughts in your brain. Like sometimes your thoughts will lie to you. You can have negative thoughts in your brain, but you cannot say them out loud. You can't do that because that messes with the whole energy field. And money does not get attracted to people who are not grateful for every single thing that happens in their life, whether they're in the hardest part of their time or an amazing part. All right, number 4, and really quick because I know your attention span is that of a little chicken. We all are. Our attention spans are fried. Drink some caffeine because number 4 was truly a game changer for me. So this one has to deal with the fact that penny pinchers stay broke. You cannot save yourself into wealth. You can't do that. Your savings account does not give you money. It stores it away, and it actually loses you money over time because of inflation and interest and all those things. Because when you don't have a lot of money, this one's hard. I agree with you. When I was a broke college student, me and all of my friends, we had no money, right? We would go out to nice dinners, again, for exposure therapy, but we would split the bill and we would argue over like little things. Or if one girl ordered an extra drink than everybody else, it's like all 16 of us couldn't split the drink because that would just be unfair, when in reality it was like 75 cents per person for that drink. But we were just so nitpicky over splitting the bill. And that era of my life was when I was the most broke. Now, when I go out to dinners with people that are in my network, students of mine, business partners, like people that actually make real wealth, we almost fight over the bill. Like there are so many times I've been to dinner where I will try to like go to the bathroom and pay for the whole dinner. And I come back and I'm like, oh, like it's already paid, like we can go whenever. And people fight over that because you cannot be limited by scarcity. When you limit money, you are telling yourself, I need to hold on to every single penny because I'm not gonna be making more soon. And what happens is money does not like that energy. Money likes to flow. Money wants to look at you as a vessel where it's like, the more I give, the more I get. The more I give, the more I get. And that's not saying that you should be irresponsible with your money. You should put your money into things that are ROIs. You know, I believe that ROI doesn't have to be a dollar sign. It can be getting somebody a gift because they're an important person to you, paying for a dinner because that makes other people feel good. Like, it doesn't have to be in a bad way. It just needs to be in a constant flow. Because I promise you, as soon as you shut off that well, if you're ever getting some sort of money, if you do not put that back into yourself, back into your business, back into your skill set, back into the people around you, it will shut off. The well does not want to stop the flow. So the more you give, the more you get. And that leads me into point number 5. And this one's a little controversial, but it is that I don't budget. And this is simply from the fact that I never want to tell myself that I cannot afford anything. And maybe you're like, well, Shelby, that is not possible because if I only make so and so amount of dollar per hour, I have bills, I have all of these things, like I have to budget. And my message to you is, of course you do. I had to budget when I was being told what my hour was worth because there's no way to make infinite money when you are capped. So my message to you, because I do want you to live in a period where you can tell yourself, I don't need to budget. I don't need to tell myself no if I genuinely want something. You need to get into a vessel that allows you to create money from thin air. For me, that was sales. I always had a dream of being able to create money from thin air because I know that I work so hard. I'm like, I'm a star. I can work hard. I know that I can make my own living. I don't want anybody else telling me what my hour is worth. I want people looking at me saying, wow, her hour is worth so much because she made her hour worth that much. So you need to get into a vessel of opportunity that pays you according to who you are and your skill set. Not your resume, not the amount of hours who you worked or not who you networked with, okay? For me, again, that was sales because I realized that I could create money from thin air. I realized if I wanted a car, all I had to do was write down the amount of money that it cost me per month, which my pink Porsche cost me $850 a month. Again, the car that I thought was so far away from me that only rich people drove. When I sat down there at the dealership and I'm like, it's only $850 a month? I just need to close 1.5 deals. I need to sell one and a midget person in order to earn the amount of money in order to pay for this Porsche. See, when you are in a place where you can create money and have control over your income, you don't need to budget. You don't need to limit yourself in a limitless vessel. So get into a limitless vessel and then everything in your life becomes infinite. You can create money out of thin air when you have a skill set that directly correlates to the amount of dollars in your bank account. So whether that is learning sales and getting into an opportunity, which is literally what I teach my girls to do and how we connect them with high ticket coaches to be remote saleswomen for. But whether that's starting a business, being a consultant for companies, whatever it is, get on your own time. Get on your own dime. Be your own business, and how you do that is you grow a skill set that other people need, and then they start paying you for what you're worth. You determine what you get paid in this life, not somebody else telling you what you're worth. Okay, and last point, best point, last point. Stay non-reactive. Stay stoic to your reaction to money. Your mindset, your inner thoughts cannot be affected by money. For example, I just lost, like 2 weeks ago, I just lost a $30,000 watch. Cartier, Panther, bought it in France. Like, one of my favorite things I've ever bought for myself. I lost it in a hotel room. I put it down on the bathroom thing to go into the shower. Then we had to rush to get ready and leave somewhere. I'm in the car after. I'm like, oh, I forgot my watch. I'm like, nah, it's okay. It's just on the bathroom. Come back 2 hours later, it's not there. Somebody from the hotel staff definitely stole it, but regardless of the fact, as soon as I realized that I lost that watch, my boyfriend was like, why aren't you sad? And I was like, well, I mean, maybe I would have been wearing that watch walking around the city of Baltimore, which is where I lost it, and maybe I would have gotten like burglarized. Maybe somebody would have stole the watch and all of my other jewelry from me. Maybe that extra couple seconds of me putting on my watch, we could have gotten into a car accident, but we didn't because I didn't have that watch. You need to always think of things as like God's protection in anything that happens in life. It is not a loss. And it's okay to look at it and be like, oh, I lost a watch, that sucks. But you don't let it ruin your day. And if you're hearing me say, oh, I lost a $30,000 watch, but I don't care, it's not that I have the money for it not to affect me. It's the fact that I have the money because of the mindset. See, it's not I have the mindset because I already have the money. It's I have the money because of the mindset that I have in order to be able to feel fine about losing the watch. The way that you are non-reactive to hard things in your life allows yourself to stay in the game. Because if I was sad and crying for the next 2 days about my watch, guess what I'm not doing? Working. Guess what I'm not doing? Being grateful for everything else in my life. Guess what I'm not doing? Putting my head down and working harder in order to be able to buy a better watch. Every single negative thing in your life, you need to stay stoic. And the way that you do that, again, is by focusing on different data points in order to change the story. So I looked at that data point of losing my watch, and I'm like, thank God I lost it. Because in another alternate reality, if I had it on my wrist, maybe this bad thing or this bad thing or this bad thing would have happened, but that didn't happen. So thank God. I would much rather trade my watch for any of those other things bad happening. That's how you have to think. And you may be thinking, Shelby, that's a little delusional. It might be delusional, but I'm here talking to you right now. You're listening to my voice because I am a self-made millionaire at 24 years old. That does not happen by chance. That does not happen by the stars aligning perfectly in luck. That happens by the way that I choose to control my thoughts around negative things that happen in my life in order to focus on having a grateful, gratitude-filled abundance mentality. And that is what money loves. Like, I'm gonna end this video by saying this. Money loves me, and money loves you too. You need to look at money as like your little bestie. Like, I view money as like a tool. Like, money's my tool. It's not against me at all. It's for me. It's my little best friend. I carry her everywhere I go. And whatever I do, money comes. And the whole best friend thing isn't instant. Okay, like I've been there at a point where I have had no money and I thought money was against me. So it's the whole best friend thing with money is over time. Like as you start implementing these 6 things over and over again through trial and error, through hardships, through amazing time, you start going through life with money. And you realize money is with you. And you're like, now it is my little best friend. But you have to implement these 6 things in order to be able to be the person that money wants to have a friend with. So obviously you watched this video to the end, and I want to say that is amazing because you got the mindset part down. The one thing that you do need is action. You cannot make money without action. So if you are somebody that's thinking, well, I want to take some action and actually make some money in order to increase my mindset with it, well, luckily for y'all, I train the girls every single Tuesday for free on Zoom Live. I literally teach you money mindset, how to sell as a woman, and educate you on how to make money in remote sales. And you can do remote sales from anywhere in the world from your laptop, and it is uncapped earnings. That is your vessel. That's my vessel, that's my students' vessels, and it truly changes people's lives. My closer last month made $44,000. She's in a vessel of freedom because she can turn her hard work into money. So if you are somebody that wants to come to that Zoom class for me to sit down live with y'all and give you the actionable steps for this, in addition to some mindset, then the link is down below. And then as always, like and subscribe or whatever the YouTube people say, okay? Love y'all, bye.